Welcome to Smart Conserver.
At first, when I saw the words electricity death spiral, I thought I would be reading about the possibility of increased death from electric shock. However, when reading, I realized that what an electricity death spiral is. Let me explain it to you. Another term for the electricity death spiral is a utility death spiral. And what it means is that because persons like you and I are finding ways to use renewable energy, or even trying hard to stop using the power people services for too long or any at all, it is realized that the power companies will lose customers, and the replacement of the infrastructure needed by these power companies, such as poles, wires, transformers, etc., will be difficult to replace, as there will not be enough money coming in to replace these items, as there are less customers to cover the cost. Let me explain to you in another way. Now, if 50 customers get electricity from the power company, and the fixed cost needed by the power company monthly to cover maintenance is $50, it would mean that every month the power company can charge each person $1 extra to cover this monthly cost. Now, if 25 of those customers decided that they are going to start using the sun as their sole source of electricity, and so they are not paying a monthly bill anymore, it means that the monthly fixed cost incurred by the power company, it will be short $25 each month. This fixed cost must be paid. Remember, people, it's a fixed cost. It's not variable where it is dependent on anything. It's fixed, so it must be paid. So the best thing to do is to have the remaining customers pay the shortfall. So what will now happen is that each customer, that is the remaining 25, will now pay $2 for this fixed cost instead of $1. And what this really does is that it increases the electricity bill for the remaining customers. Now, as people, when situations affect us as individuals, we either find a solution or we work with it. The power company may see more persons leaving the grid in order to save money, or persons stealing electricity, or for those who can't go solar, they just complain and pay the bill. So we now have three types of people: the movers, the stealers, and the conformers. I would be wrong, and really be wrong, if I encouraged you to remain on the power grid, as I myself am partially on the movers category. I want to be in the movers category 100%, but right now it is not possible, so I'm partially there. I am sorry, but I'm not going to think about how the power company is affected when I move, as I don't think they really think about me when they are giving me these huge electricity bill, and the electricity costs are rising. And when you look at it, my consumption remains the same. You know, even when you think about it, even with their conservation techniques, it can also cause electricity death spiral, as even the persons who are affected are trying to conserve. Look at this diagram. Now, the diagram really starts with us. We are the people, we are the consumers of this electricity that is being produced by the power companies. Now, due to whatever reasons, some persons may leave the power grid by using renewable energy. Now that would depict what is shown on the right hand side of this diagram. On the right hand side, you really have persons who are trying. No, for the first one, it will depict what is shown on the left hand side. Sorry. However, on the right hand side, we have the persons who are trying their utmost best to conserve and use electricity efficiently. We're trying hard to conserve, and as a result of this, you end up paying a lower electricity bill than usual. Now, the persons on the left who are using renewable electricity and the persons on the right who are trying to conserve and lower their reliance on the power company, both of these persons end up to the top. Now, because of both of these persons trying their very best to save and conserve, what you have is that the power company lose revenue. Right there at the top, you see it? Right. The part that says loss of revenue, that's the section I'm talking about. Now, with this loss of revenue, it's ironic. Think of it. Because this is really telling us that the power companies use us, you and I, to achieve certain profits. So especially our conserving, it doesn't benefit them as they are losing revenue. As a result of this revenue loss, it means that the poor remaining customers who are left back on the grid totally or even partially, they increase your rate to really make up for this loss. When you really look at it, it's really sad. Yeah, it's sad. And the worst affected of them all, it will be the customers who remain on the power grid, as they will have to stay back and bear the full cost that it is to maintain this grid. Now, the electricity debt spiral, it can affect different groups in different ways. So it will mean that the remaining customers who are required to pay all of the fixed costs, they now get frustrated, as it makes them feel like they are paying for something that they would never use. And for the power company, they may be left with costs that they have difficulty to recover. Yet, they are required to provide this electricity consistently to those who demand it. Now, being that I'm a consumer, I would tell people like me to look out for yourselves. If you can get off this grid, do so. If it's even partially, then doing so, if you come off the grid even partially, it will benefit you. Because when you really look at it, placing profits in someone else's pocket, it doesn't benefit you, it benefits them. The power companies know, my advice to you is that please try to reduce the cost at which you acquire electricity to pass on to us the consumers. Give up the reliance that you have placed on fuel. It is costing us too much. If we had cheaper rates, the attrition from the power grid wouldn't be so rapid, And see there now what you're looking into, a debt spiral. Another thing that the power companies can try to do is to shift the demand for electricity to another source. Get the government or the country to buy into electric cars. You see the shift there? Yeah, I agree. There will still be a demand for electricity, but this time it will be required for the cars. I have said in a vlog titled Electric Vehicles, What About It? And I said that if I was to ever get an electric vehicle, I would need to go fully solar. Power companies, you need to be mindful that if people see that they cannot afford something and it is a necessity, then they will steal it just to acquire it. Overall, my advice to the power companies is that the responsibility is now yours. And you need to do what you can to reduce the rates so that electricity can be afforded by all. If not, then you're the ones who will lose. Think about it.
You have come to the end of another series. Join us next time for more ways to conserve.